Today, we are talking about love. The Word of God teaches us that God is love. And because He is love, He cannot be tempted by evil. And He doesn't tempt anyone. God does not use evil to teach people a lesson. We must stop blaming God for what the devil does. If God is love, how can we love apart from Him? And Jesus is the only way we can be connected to God. We see in 1 John 4, whoever say I love God but hate another believer is a liar. People who don't love other believers whom they have seen cannot love God whom they have not seen. Love is something you do. If you say you have love and do not consider others, but put yourself first when you make decisions, that is not love. We must love God and other believers. This is God's requirement for all believers. The person who doesn't love doesn't know God, because God is love. We do not have to wonder about who is a child of God. If they have love, they know God. If they do not love, they do not know God. Love is the one thing Satan cannot imitate. You cannot fake love. Saved people love other believers. If you do not love other believers, you are not saved. We see in Matthew 25, when Jesus returns, all the nations will be gathered in His presence, and He will separate the people as a shepherd separate the sheep from the goats. He will place the sheep at His right hand and the goats at His left. He will say to them at His right hand, I was hungry, and you fed me. I was thirsty, and you gave me a drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me into your home. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you cared for me. I was in prison, and you visited me. Then they will reply, Lord, when did we ever see you hungry and fed you, or thirsty, or give you something to drink, or a stranger, and showed you hospitality, or naked, and gave you clothing? When did we ever see you sick, or in prison, and visited you? And Jesus was saying, I tell you the truth, when you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you were doing it to me. Then He will turn to those on His left and say, away with you, you cursed ones, into everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his demons. For I was hungry, and you didn't feed me. I was thirsty, and you didn't give me a drink. I was a stranger, and you didn't invite me into your home. I was naked, and you didn't give me clothing. I was sick and in prison, and you didn't visit me. Then they will reply, Lord, when did we ever see you hungry, or thirsty, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and not help you? And He will answer, I tell you the truth. When you refuse to help the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you were refusing to help me. They refuse to love other believers. People who refuse to love other believers cannot love the Lord. Two things I have found in the Word of God that will cause a person to lose their salvation and be destroyed into the lake of fire. The rejection of Jesus Christ and refusing to love God and other believers. There is salvation in no one else. God has given no other name under heaven by which we must be saved. Jesus is the only way. And He gave us the greatest commandment of all. You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. A second is equally important. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Jesus said, we must always pray and never give up. I'm Pastor Larry Cobb of the Redeeming Light Ministries. You have a blessed day.